Good morning, friends. I'm really hoping that my connection is good. The last time I did a live on Instagram, the picture was so fuzzy, and I really hope that that doesn't happen this time. Can someone tell me if it's fuzzy? I'll just wait for hello. Thank you to everyone who is joining me. I'll wait a few minutes for people to get on. I actually came on a little bit early because I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to do this. I thought I would give a little tour of our outdoor space today and hopefully tell you a little bit about it, things I've been doing out here, and yeah, hopefully you will enjoy. I'm out on our deck right now. Thought I'll show you the deck, the patio, kind of the backyard area, and then I'll walk around to the front of our house and show you that part too. So, okay, we have a few people on. I always have to figure out how to turn the camera around. Okay. Hopefully that didn't make you sick. So we'll start. I'll just show you everything. Okay, I mentioned that I have a couple other projects to do out here and I did not get them done yesterday. I was super tired. So one of them is I've continually struggled with this cord. I used electrical tape on it last year. I refreshed the tape this year and it's just not holding. So I actually ordered like those cord hiders that you can use for like TV cords and stuff. They had a black one. So I am going to put that on sometime this week. Hopefully I have enough because there isn't a ton of space here, but I think it's thin enough that it should work. Some people have mentioned, could I paint it the color of the house? Yes. However, I do not have this paint color, and I think we are probably going to be painting our house this fall, having it painted, the exterior, and so I will then do it. So this will be getting changed out soon. So this, just a cute little corner. I have my fountain here. I eventually would like to get it a little bit closer to the seating area, but this is sort of where it landed, and I like to have all of this space filled up because I just think it's boring without anything. So this is my fountain that I splurged on this year, and super glad that I did. The ones that I've had in the past have been cheap. I think I got both of them on Facebook Marketplace and they just were not very good quality, so they didn't last. This should last me a long time. So this is the little clamshell planter that I just did pretty recently, and if you remember, the plants I did not pot in here. I left them in their nursery pots and then just covered them with mulch. The mulch helps to hold in moisture. The calathea is so happy out here. Calatheas love moisture, so when I have them inside, I actually have them in a pot, and then I have them on a tray that I then fill that with water, so it sort of works as a humidifier for the plant around it. So being outside in Iowa, there is so much humidity here and they're super happy. This is a sweet potato vine and it has gotten too much sun, so I need to trim it a little bit. It's not looking good. I brought it up here so that it would be in the shade. And I just got this little bench this summer from a friend who was moving, and it's perfect to fill in sort of this empty gap right here. An impatient that just is not doing the best. It has not looked good since I got it, so I don't know. This is a palm that I got from Lively Root. I've talked about them before. That's actually who I got these plants from, and the palm is really doing well out here. This is a thrift store pot that I painted. I don't know if you remember when I shared those. And I found this similar one, thrifted both of them and painted them. So they are perfect up here. Another Lively Root palm plant. Then this is our seating area up on the deck. We've struggled because we don't really have like a table. We don't have the space to have a seating area and an eating table out here. But for me, I would rather have the seating area. So for now, until we maybe add something, that's just what I prefer. So this is an outdoor mat from World Market. I really like these because unlike even other outdoor rugs, this is like a woven plasticky material, so it dries out really easily. The other cool thing about these is that they're reversible. I don't know if I can show you this one. This one is gone, but they do have several others, but it's like a different colorway. So if I wanted to switch it up, I could do that. So this sectional is a Facebook Marketplace find that I got when we moved in. I got it the second year we were here. So we've had it for 2 summers, and these are the cushions that I just spray painted. So I did want to talk about that a little bit. So the top cushions, I used a mix of fabric spray paint and regular spray paint. I did the regular spray paint as the first coat, and then I did the fabric spray on top, and then I did the Scotch Guard sun and water protectant spray. And then, so that spray paint is pretty expensive, the fabric spray paint. I was gifted the cans that I got, but I wasn't going to buy any more, and they were also out of the color that I needed. So the bottom cushions, I actually used just straight up spray paint. Regular spray paint, my favorite kind that I use, and which is the Rust-Oleum 2 times. I used the matte black. And so what I did with those was I filled a spray bottle with, point you to me right now. I filled a spray bottle with 2/3, I'm going to sneeze, sorry. 2/3 fabric softener, and then topped it off with warm water. And so with the cushions, I sprayed them down and got them really good and covered with the fabric softener. And then I did 1 coat of spray paint, and then I sprayed it down again with the softener mixture, and then did another coat of the spray paint. I almost wonder if I had done 1 more coat of the softener on top, if that would have made any difference. But honestly, the feel of, turn this back around, the feel of the cushions on this one is softer than the one that I used the fabric spray paint on. So for what that is worth to you, if you want to try this project, I almost would do, if I do it again ever, I would do the fabric softener and the regular spray paint. I think that that worked really well, and it's a lot cheaper than the fabric spray paint. So that's my 2 cents worth. No matter what, it's not going to be as soft as your regular cushion. So I just want to forewarn you. But I paid $175 for this sectional, and I was able to update the cushions. We'll probably only keep it 1 more year and then upgrade the whole sectional anyway. But I think I'll have a better chance at selling it this way too, because the black looks just so much better than the other cushions. They were stained. Whoever we bought this from, there's a cigarette hole on the back of one of the cushions, so it looks a lot sharper. All right, and I don't know if you can see this very well since it's not dark out. Oh, you kind of can. This is my tabletop fire pit that I got. I super love it. I have it sitting on a couple of cork pieces just to help with the heat from it. And then this thing, actually, when I want to extinguish it, just sits on top of it. So pretty handy. Don't have to worry about emptying out the liquid or anything. Then this is my other favorite purchase of this year, is this little Tabletop Tiki. Super cute. It's from Walmart, and I love it because it's super easy. And then to extinguish it, I just put this on top, and it's easy to use. I don't know if you have one of these. I'll turn it on. This is like a rechargeable lighter. So this is what I've been using out here, and I just feel like it's a little bit safer than a big lighter. So these 2 tables I got from Facebook Marketplace. I think the summer we moved, or the fall that we moved in, or maybe the summer right after, they were just tan, and so I spray painted them. They've chipped a little bit, but really just the tops, the legs have held up really well, but I can always just go back over those whenever they need to be. Remember, this tray was one that had, it was like a chip and dip, and it had like the spot in the middle for the dip, and I removed that and then spray painted it. And then this concrete urn I got for free off of the curb, and it's perfect with the purslane in it. I just grabbed this at Walmart on clearance. Okay, and then this I just got from Aldi, and I keep trying to work with it to get it to hang straight. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it, but I think it's super cute. I filled it with begonias because they can handle the light right here. Then this little table is a secondhand table that I got. I've debated painting it, but now that the cushions are black, I kind of like the white. And then these are some more plants from Lively Root. This is a basket. If you saw me post in my stories last week, I went thrifting with my niece and I grabbed this really cute basket, and I just popped the plants in there in their nursery pots. Again, that way I'll be able to take them in at the end of the season and not have to worry about it. Then I did want to show you this. This is one of the rechargeable light bulbs that I use in all of my non-hardwired lights. I can't show you how it works because it is burned out right now. It needs to be recharged, but I just hang it in there, and then I can just click this button on the top and it puts out pretty good light, which I like pretty light at night when it is dark outside. Okay, and this planter, and I need a bigger one for next year, but this is lemongrass and then a scented geranium, and they help with, I wish you could smell this. It smells like lemon, but these help with bugs. So they're good to have if you want like a natural alternative. Also, I have a cordless rechargeable diffuser, so you can put essential oils in that and bring that out as well, and that'll help keep the bugs away. So here I have, because I'm a grandma, not really, but I love watching birds. So we have a hummingbird feeder. I make my own hummingbird food. It's super easy, and then I just have that on a shepherd's hook kind of stuck down in this pot. It gets a little wonky sometimes, so I have to straighten it up a little bit. Then this is just another battery operated candle. Thank you to everyone joining. I'm super excited to have you watching. The purslane or moss rose, these are my favorite because they do so well. We get so much sun here and they just thrive in the sun. So I always have those on our deck area, and I love purple fountain grass. I think that it fills in really well, and I like it because I leave it in my pots all winter and it just turns brown, and it gives you some sort of visual interest, and it moves in the wind. And then I just got this alocasia from Walmart. They had them for like $6.88. And this is a trash can actually that I painted. I've had it forever in the garage and I needed something to put the alocasia in. So painted it, now it's perfect. This little guy gets a lot of action. I just put grape jelly in there and we get a bunch of finches that come up and they kind of fight over the food. So if you don't want bird seed around because it is kind of messy, jelly is a great option. You'll still attract some birds that way, and we like to watch them. So, all right. So one of the things that we're hoping, oh, I didn't talk about this. So this, I mentioned that we don't have like a full-size table, but we like to have somewhere that we could come out and eat meals. This table was a great option. It's like a bar height table, 2 stools, and gives us a place where we can eat, or if we had friends over, we definitely could put the food there and, you know, still sit over here. But I really love this. I love that we can look out over the yard, and it's just fits there so perfectly. So one of our goals for next year is to replace the railings on our deck. The boards of the deck themselves are Trex decking, but they used wood, and it's so rotted and just not good, not safe. So we will be replacing that next year as a goal. So I'll go down here. I had some questions about our patio the last time I shared it, and it was here when we moved in. So it's a stamped patio, not laid stone or brick or anything. It is really nice. couple of things. You have to be careful. We have had some rust spots from different things. So I'll probably try to remove those. That was one of the reasons, if you saw me share this, these were the little garden stools that I got from Homemakers, and they're not necessarily meant to just be out in the elements, and so they were leaving rust spots. So that was one of the reasons that I wanted to have a bottom and casters put on it. And then my mom's husband had the idea of actually flipping them upside down because they were open, and he made a top, so now I can store like blankets and stuff in there. So I'm super excited about that. I did want to mention what this bucket is. So last year we really struggled big time with Japanese beetles, like hardcore. They leveled our plants the last 2 years. And so this year we treated for grubs, which is where the Japanese beetles come from. And then if you see them, instead of like squashing them, because that releases their pheromones and attracts more of them, you want to flick them off your plants, and if you stick them in some soapy water, that will help to take care of them. So that's what that bucket is. We've seen just a few stragglers here, and so we're just trying to take care of them as we see them. So last year they ate my hydrangeas, and it was awful, actually the last 2 years. So I'm super excited that the hydrangeas are going to be able to live and thrive this year. Okay, so we have some Adirondack chairs, which I have never found any that I think are comfortable, and these are so comfortable. They are mostly weatherproof, although we will put them away for our harsh Iowa winter. Those are super comfy. These covers I just ordered from Amazon, and you can see how much darker the backside is. They faded so much. I should have sprayed them first, but didn't. So my mandevilla, I have never been able to get them to survive, and I think it's because I have not given them enough moisture. So just in the last week, I've added mulch on top, been watering them, and the leaves are coming back so much better. So I think that's the answer. If you've ever had mandevilla and they're not doing well, they need a ton of moisture, and we get no shade out here. So I think they might survive. They have some blooms on them. This guy I just got at Walmart. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's a kind of celosia. Is that like a coxcomb? I think that's the name of it. So it was on the clearance, and I think it'll be good and come back. Then these are the striped trash cans that I bought from Walmart. I bought them in a 4-pack, I think, and I love them. Drilled holes in the bottom so that they drain. I got these lanterns from the same person that I got the wooden bench from up on the deck, and then I just have battery operated candles in them. So next year I think I will upgrade. Home Depot actually has my favorite battery operated candles. They are on a timer and they're so bright, so they run out of them always every year, but I will upgrade and put those in there next year. Okay, so this is an Oleander plant, and this was the opposite of the mandevilla and got too much moisture. So you can even see here, it's not going to pull off, but the leaves turned yellow and I lost so many leaves, but it's still blooming, and I do have some new growth in there. So hopefully I can get the water situation managed a little bit. This is a Lantana, and I got it from Walmart. It definitely looks a little rough right now. I think it will come back, but I think I'm going to have to pot it. So one of the things when you have potted plants is that if it is a plant that is at all temperamental, you really need to repot it into something else, because they need moisture and they need the nutrients, and they just end up not looking very good if you don't. So if you struggle with potted plants or the like hanging baskets, that could be why. They're just not getting enough nutrients and moisture. Then this is a palm that I got from one of our local grocery stores, Hy-Vee. They were selling them for like $7, so I grabbed 3 of them. Here's another little table that he added the tops and bottoms to. So once I figure out what plants work, I will just always do those, because I hate losing money to dead flowers. And again, we have no shade here, and so I've really struggled to figure out, since we've moved here, what will work. But this is a really good combination. The purple fountain grass, this is actually a weed that I let take over because it's gonna flower and it fills in kind of. But I have, again, the purslane in there. This is rosemary. Some more. This is an impatient that can take a little bit more sun, although it gets probably too much out here. And then the little watering can that I replaced the nozzle or the spout and painted a couple weeks ago. Looks really cute out here. And then this guy is really cool. It can take a lot of heat and drought. And the flowers are just amazing. I don't know what it's called, but these only open up like in the morning hours, and then I think in the evening. So, but then during the day they close up. But super pretty. So this is our backyard. All of the landscaping was here when we moved in. We transplanted a couple of plants from our other house. But that is it. And I did want to point out, here's another scented geranium and the lemongrass for bugs. I did want to point out, so the people who lived here before planted this ornamental grass. And I know they probably didn't know any better, but this grass is not a root base. It is more of like a rhizome. So it spreads. It's so invasive. It's in everything. It has started to invade the daylilies, which are so beautiful. So we have to tackle this. It's on both sides of the deck, and it's just taking over everything. So I want to have someone come out and kind of give us some input on how we could get rid of it without tearing everything out, because I really don't want that to happen. But you can see it's just moving across here. I do not want it to get into the coral bells because they're so big and beautiful. It's in my sedum. So we need to get that figured out. That will be probably this fall and spring, eradicating that. I did forget to show you something up on the deck that I want to show you real quick. Okay, so this is a hanging basket that I bought the other day. I wanted something to hang from both sides, and I cobbled together a couple of pots. So this was a pot from another plant that I got on clearance, and this came in a different pot, but I liked this one better. So I popped the plants out and swapped them, but I needed a hanger. So this came from the original pot, and I just snipped the hanger off so that then I could loop some twine through, because I didn't like the plastic hanger, but I think the rope looks a lot better. Sorry about that. Okay, I just saw a question, and I will go back through, but I'm going to answer this question. What month did you treat for grubs in the lawn? I believe we did that in May, and it honestly has made such a huge difference. We had people, we used to set the traps out, and that just attracts more and more and more of them. So we did not do the traps this year, and honestly, we've seen maybe a total of 5 of them. So I'm so thankful that we did the treatment, and I think you can do a grub treatment in the fall as well. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure. But definitely do the one in May. So turning around again, you can see here again the invasive grass. It's not quite as bad on this side, but it will get there. And then just everything is really big. The daylily is big, and the lilac bush has exploded this year because we trimmed them last year. So really you want to trim just after they get done blooming, but we still can do it in July and still be okay, because the new buds will form on new growth. So you just want to make sure that you don't do it too late in the season. So there's sort of a look of our patio, and you can see our backyard is huge and it feels overwhelming, and it's clay soil, so nothing will grow here unless you specifically amend it. So I've just really worked to make our patio like really cozy and sort of not worry about the rest of the yard. But I would really like to get a pool. If we're going to stay here, my goal is for us to have a pool. And so that will eat up a huge portion of the yard. And there will still be a lot of yard. So we'll be working on landscaping for years, I'm sure. I don't want a ton that I have to water and things like that as far as perennials go. So they definitely will be drought resistant. Okay. I always have bird baths. That's really important. I wanted to point out really quickly, especially because we're in a year of a drought. We had rain barrels installed last year. Check out your local community. A lot of times they offer rebates for them. We were able to get a rebate for these, and I definitely want to do it. Get a couple more for the other side of the house. This is so nice. We're right now in a water, I can't think of what it's called. We're not supposed to water our lawns or anything, and so this will allow me to still water my plants since I am not supposed to drag the hose out. So we just collect rainwater whenever it rains. We had several days of really great rain, so these are pretty much full right now. Super thankful that we got them. Okay, so I'll kind of take you around now and show you the rest. So this wash tub situation came from our old house, and nothing will grow very well in this. At our old house, we used it for lettuce, and so I'm actually going to move it, which I forgot to show you, our shed, but I can do that another day. I'm going to move it to over by our shed, and my mom's husband is building me a potting bench, so those will go side by side, and I will use it for lettuce to grow in the future. But right now, I can't think of what this is called, star something. I just transplanted these purslane. They look a little rough right now, but I think that they will do okay. And then I have some basil. This plant is doing better than this one. So I think because of the metal and the sun that comes, this is a western facing spot, they just get baked. And then my other goal for this year is these little pots are so tiny for this spot, and we get really bad crosswind here. And so I want to upgrade these. I have my eye on a couple at Walmart that'll be taller to fill in the space a little bit better. And then I'll be able to fill the bottom of that pot with like rocks or something to keep them. These have tipped over so many times from the wind that they're fighting for their lives. So they look pretty pitiful. I always have flags in. I'll probably pull those out this week sometime. Probably need to get some new ones. They're faded. Okay. And it's really hard for me to see the screen of my phone, so I apologize if this is just craziness to you. I'm trying to see. Okay, here is the front of our house. Here is the address sign that I made last year. I super love it. Although this year I did not, well, two things. Our plants exploded this year. The lilac bush, again, we trimmed last year, and these bushes. So the lilac bush needs to be trimmed now. These bushes will get trimmed in the fall, but they're almost covering the address sign. And then I just put in some fake stems. It's like rosemary, plastic stems from Walmart, super inexpensive. I do not always get the hose out to water, and it's impossible for me to reach this with a watering can. So I needed fake plants. I tried several different real plants in it last year, and they just baked. So I will link the blog post with that project when I'm done here. Okay. The name for this is going to elude me right now because, of course, I need to think of it, and I can't. So if somebody remembers what it is or recognizes it, please tell me. The rabbits leveled it this year, and so I covered it with a pot, hoping that it would help to hoping it would help it to come back, and I think that it will next year. I planted some vinca along here. The rabbits don't eat it, and so that is nice. We do have some hungry rabbits out here. This is a whiskey barrel that was here. I painted it black. It needs another coat of paint after winter and all of the water and everything. This pot always does really well. I've always wanted these things, and so I finally planted them this year, and Everything does well in here. It's just super healthy. The sweet potato vine looks great. The coleus looks great. I've never done this stuff before. I can't think of what it's called, but I really like it. Okay, our swing is something that my mom's husband built us a couple of years ago and installed, and it does need it's out in the elements all year long, so it does need a little bit of help in terms of staying, so I need to figure that part out. This window box I thrifted a couple years ago, and I just planted the begonias in there. So again, these are the same begonias that I have out on the deck. They were on clearance for $1. I put mulch in there as well to help retain the moisture. And then these are the candles that I was talking about from Home Depot that I love. And I do not like super white candles. These have more of a yellow tint, but as they age, they definitely yellow quite a bit more. And they're just out in the sun. But they give off the best light that I think of any of them. And these are 2 Kimberly Queen ferns. They can handle the heat and sun a little bit better, although they still do have some burned branches on their fronds. I got these from Harvey's in Adele, and I cannot thank them enough for saving these 2 plants for me. They are huge and amazing and just fill in this space so well. All of these lanterns are thrifted, just FYI. This mat, the bigger one, is from Five Below, and it serves its purpose. It does wrinkle a little bit, and it faded a ton. That's the thing out here. There's so much sun, everything fades. So if you're out in the sun, just know you're going to have to replace things or deal with the fading a little bit. This is the welcome mat. I love it so much. I grabbed this at Michael's maybe a month ago. I shared that, but I will link it again if they still have it. Then this was a project that I had in my mind and had someone build at the beginning of 2020 last year. It's cedar, and then the metal legs all of this will age. I'm not trading any of it. I just want it to age and look really great. And I haven't been able to get anything to grow in here successfully until now. These are vining black-eyed Susans. And then I actually planted something different in here, this spot. And it has white flowers, but it has only bloomed a couple of times. So I'm okay with it. Probably next year I'll just do all black-eyed Susans, but I love how full it is, and that it's actually blooming. And then I have some moss rose in there, but it's gotten covered up by the vines, so I will not do that next year. All right, this is something we have been working on this area probably the last couple of years, and I feel pretty good about it this year. So I did the vinca all along the front here. We remulched it. Jason did. It looks so much better. Then this grass, you can see, is quite a bit taller than these. This was actually a huge clump, and we divided it into 3 so that it would be even across here. So I'm hoping that next year they will all be similar heights. I have this clematis here, and I think I will cut it back next year and maybe try to get a taller trellis. When we paint the house, we're going to whitewash the stone anyway. So then maybe after that, I've also seen where you can drill in and do a wire trellis. So I might look into doing that, but it's already trying to climb over what I have here. So I think I need something a lot taller. Divided daylilies all along here, and didn't realize that I had a coral one in here. All the rest are yellow, and so I probably will. You can definitely see that these are 2 different plants. There's little and then big leaves. So I probably will transplant that next year, but none of them bloomed very well this year. I think it was the heat. I think it was because they had been transplanted. This is a Fern Peony I've had. This is the 2nd year. Didn't do anything this year. Hopefully it will grow more next year and maybe send out a bloom or 2. I have this salvia that I actually am going to swap places with the bird bath, move the bird bath back and move the salvia up here. This is a knockout rose bush, and it has done so well this year. It did have a little bit of beetle damage on the leaves, but knockout roses go dormant in July and September, and so they won't do any blooming, but there will be some new growth. So just be careful that you don't really trim it too much. I might trim off this little bit of branch here. So then it will start to bloom again and will bloom right up until a hard freeze. So those are a great rose bush to have if you've never had one. Then the last thing I'll show you is this. This was here when we moved in and has just gotten so huge. It's called a smoke bush, I think. And I don't know if you can tell too well, but the fluffy stuff on it has like a red tint. And when it starts growing, the leaves are a lot redder. So I just really love how this looks, and it fills in a huge space. We need to trim it here. It's coming in over our neighbors, into the neighbor's space, but I really like that. I've thought about planting one in the back. And then I guess I'll show you this space. We have daylilies on the side of the house, or not daylilies, hosta, because it's pretty shady here. Don't love that this is a different variety. So these definitely need split probably in the next couple of years. So I might try to fill in with one of these in that spot and then move this guy. And then this is a spot that has never had anything, and so our window box is full of weeds. We transplanted, this is some of the grass from the front area that I just showed you, and then a daylily. So that is it for our yard tour. Hopefully you learned a little bit and enjoyed that. I've wanted to share that for a while, but I just had some projects to finish, and I still have some things I want to wrap up, but thought I would show you while the plants still looked nice. I'm hoping that they will survive. We're supposed to have some hot weather, and hopefully that they can make it and not get too crusty. But eventually our goal, if we stay here, put in a pool. And then once we know where that will be, we will definitely put in some trees. I mean, I would like to put in some things that are a little bit faster growing versus having like legacy trees, just because I want to be able to enjoy some of the shade before we would move on to our next house. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. And if I will go back through and see if there were any other questions. And if you've watched this later and have questions, definitely let me know, and I will try to get them answered. So I'm going to get back into the shade so that I can see how to turn this off. Okay, someone just asked, how much time per day do you spend gardening? So not a lot. I tried this year. I felt like a good job for me of spreading things out. Usually I'm like, all my flowers need planted in one day, all of this. But this year I just tried to pace myself. I try to like pull weeds as I see them, and then just spend maybe an hour outdoors every day between watering and pulling weeds and just kind of enjoying the space. So to me, it's worth it. Again, I would like to get to a point where I know what plants will do well and what will be more drought resistant, so that I'm not having to water everything. So, all right. I'm not 100% sure how to turn this off or how to end this, but thank you very much to everyone who watched. Hope you have a really great day.